So how are you guys dealing with this cold weather? I am in South Florida and it dropped to 40 degrees this week, and that was fun. It was interesting. I'm not used to it, but I'm gonna try to get used to it because I want to see some snow. So I'm just going to pretend like this is just me being prepared for my little snow vacays that I'm gonna have soon. I hope you guys had a great week. I had an okay week. I am in this stage now in my content creation journey where I am starting to kind of like be brave online, and I'm being a bit more blunt than I usually am, and I am clapping back at people, and it has been interesting. I enjoy it. That's probably, you know, a little weird, maybe a little mean, but I'm learning that the algorithm seems to favor those who get into debates in comment sections. So that's what I've been integrating into my content creation, because the algorithm is something you're gonna have to study, and that's just one of the things that I picked up on. And ever since I've been like more blunt, I've been gaining a lot more traction to my page. So what do you know? So this video, I am going to be sharing with you all my modeling journey and how you can start your modeling journey as well. And this is the realistic way to start your modeling career. If you are watching this video, that means that you are interested in it, or you want to know more about the industry, things like that. And I think that I have some valuable tips that I can share with you, because I've been in the modeling industry since I was 18. I'm 25 now, and I've learned a lot. And there's things that I learned that I feel like if somebody would have told me, I probably would have skipped a lot of BS that I went through and avoided a lot of scams and things like that. But I don't want y'all to go through that. I want you guys to know the real deal about the industry, and I want you to start this career. If this is something that you want, I believe that you deserve it, and there's room for everybody. Yeah, so let's get into it. So if you were like me and you are now recognizing that you want to take your modeling career seriously, but you feel like you don't know where to start, it's like there's nobody around to help you, there's nobody giving you straightforward answers, I am here to give you those answers. So the first thing that you want to do, you need to gain confidence. Now, this might sound a little mean, but you need to get more confident. You can always have more confidence. The reason I say this is because you're going to need that confidence because you're going to start working with local photographers. You are going to be in front of the camera, and a stranger is going to be taking images of you. And you need to have confidence to be able to do that. When I first started modeling and I realized that, oh shoot, it's literally all on me to get myself out there, it was definitely like a hard pill to swallow, because there's nobody that's like coming to save you. Like there's nobody that's going to be pushing you to do it more than yourself, right? And confidence is one of those things that you are going to have to fake it until you make it, because there's no photographer out there that's going to want to like hold your hand through the photo shoots. You're going to have to gain confidence. This is really important in your modeling journey. This is what is going to carry you throughout your modeling journey. This is what is going to book you jobs throughout your modeling journey, okay? Confidence, confidence, confidence is key. So you're going to want to work on that first and foremost. A few things like that you can do to gain confidence is study your taste in fashion and start wearing your clothes, start doing your makeup, start doing your hair, get up every day and flaunt. The more that you flaunt and you look in the mirror and you like what you see, the more confidence you're going to get naturally. Another practice that you can do is take more pictures of yourself. If you have, I'm pretty sure you have a phone, use your phone and take more pictures. Get creative with your images. Make a Pinterest board and search on Pinterest and get ideas and start to gain inspo from them, and then start trying to recreate those images. I always say nature is, without a doubt, like that's going to be your best backdrop. So get out in nature, go into your backyard, set up your phone, set up your camera, put that self timer on and get in front of the camera, get in front of your phone, get comfortable, take selfies, mirror pictures, all of that. If you're not already doing that, do it. If you are already doing that, do it some more. So the next thing that you want to do after you gain all that confidence, that you're going to want to shift your mindset. Confidence goes hand in hand with this, because you need to be able to know that you are going to get what you want. You need to know that you're going to make it, because that is going to be your drive to keep going. Because the modeling industry, modeling in general, you're in it for like the long run. It's not something that's like short and like sweet and like you get it quickly, unless you're like a Nepo baby, or unless you're like some like super gorgeous exotic alien like looking person that they found you in a village somewhere. You're gonna have to work, okay, to get to where you want to get to in the industry. You're gonna have to channel like a really hardcore bull like energy within your mind that is going to create a firm foundation within you that is not going to break under no circumstances, okay? None. So confidence in just having that firm foundation of knowing that you're going to get it how you get it, and that's just what it is. You just have to work for it. That is going to set you up for success no matter what. So your modeling is going to be an investment. You are going to have to invest into the tools that you need to curate yourself to be a successful model. You're going to want to look for local photographers around you. What you can do is you can go onto Instagram and going to search up hashtag Dallas photographer on Instagram. Once you do that, you'll see a bunch of photographers come up and you're going to search through them. Most of the time they're going to have rates, unless they are a photographer that is also in the stage where they're building their portfolio, which is nice as well, because you don't want a photographer that is too good or like out of your league right now. I mean, you can do that, you have free will, but I think that you should be getting practice in, especially if this is something that you are new to. You don't want to make that much of a big investment just yet until you know that those images are going to be worth it and are going to be usable in your portfolio. These images will get you signed. You get what I'm saying? If they're building their portfolio and they don't have rates up yet, you can message them and you can say, hey, I am a upcoming model. I want to start building my portfolio. I would love to connect. I would love to work, right? And you're going to make the time and you are going to work with these photographers. Once you start shooting and like getting your foot in the waters, you'll start to get more comfortable in front of camera. It's going to be a little awkward at first because this is new for you, okay? You're not used to doing this type of thing. Get those images back from those photographers and you're going to naturally see things that you need to work on. And that is what is going to push you to want to work harder. You're going to get in the mirror. You're going to practice posing. You're going to use your phone. You're going to video yourself posing. You're going to take images of yourself. You might even invest into a camera. This is something that I did. It was a catalyst to my career. Once I got that camera and my boyfriend and I just started doing our own photo shoots, that really is what pushed me into the direction of really becoming a model who knows what she's doing. You are going to want to be taking so many pictures that you get tired of it. The more pictures that you take, the more flexible your poses will be. The more flexible your facial expressions will be in front of the camera. You're going to be getting to know yourself in front of the camera. Next thing that you are going to want to do, you are going to research agencies around you. Or if you are in Atlanta, you are going to go onto models.com and you're going to go to their agency directory. Once you go to their agency directory, I think you're able to like search up city or state that you're in, and then you will see agencies around you. You're going to be studying those agencies. You're going to go onto their Instagram pages, their websites. You're going to study their models' portfolios. This is something that I used to do. I would go onto an agency that I wanted to be signed to. I would go onto their websites and I would look at all of their models' portfolios, especially models that I felt like looked like me or were similar to myself. I would look at those models' portfolios that they had on the websites, and I would try to mimic those images with photographers. This is a good way to kind of like manifest in a way, because you are putting yourself in that model's shoes. You're pretending to be signed to that agency just based off of that model's portfolio from the agency. So yeah, that's just another little like trick that I used to do that I kind of still enjoy doing. These agencies are usually pretty active on their social media, so you're going to follow them. You're going to be active on their pages. I think that putting yourself in the air, it's kind of letting the universe and God know that like, hey, I'm here. Just want you to remember, like later on down the line, when I am signed to this agency, that I was commenting under these posts and I'm here now. Once you've studied these agencies like websites and things like that, next you're going to want to look for castings around you. Same thing with the photographers, hashtags. Hashtag model casting Atlanta. Hashtag Atlanta model casting. Things like that, because then you will start to find directory pages where they are like dedicated to posting castings near you. And a lot of the times you don't have to be signed to go to these castings. They're usually for like freelance models, things like that. So that's something that's also really good too, to get your foot in the door. You don't necessarily have to be signed first to be necessarily considered a professional model. You can still be freelance and you can get paid for it too. So castings can be a little intimidating at first, because once you go, you're going to see the amount of models that be showing up to these castings, especially agency castings. My lord, I remember the first time I went to a casting and I was so intimidated because there were so many other just like beautiful girls around me, and I felt like I was definitely humbled. I was humbled because you recognize that, holy crap, I'm not an anomaly. There's so many other girls that are beautiful and want to be models as well. But don't let this intimidate you. Let this actually put like that fire underneath you that will make you want to push even harder. Usually castings are pretty quick. The longest part about a casting is waiting in line, but usually when you go into a casting, there will be agents, directors, etc., etc. So basically you will literally just walk up and they will ask you a couple questions and they'll say, okay, we'll let you know if we've accepted you or not, and then that's it. Next, you're going to forget about it. You're going to forget about that casting, because if you are going to be sitting there thinking about it all day, every day, it's not going to happen. It's just one of those things. Like with modeling, I've had to master the art of detachment, especially when it comes to jobs, because a job will usually roll in at like the most random time. It's never usually like, I went to this casting and I got it right away, boom. Like, it's usually not like that. I mean, sometimes it can be like that, but we are going to forget about it. Now, I feel like I kind of skipped a step, but comp cards. Comp cards are basically your ID, I should say, in the modeling industry. A comp card is where you have your digital images. So these are just clean slate images, raw images of you, your face, your body, profile, things like that. And these are high quality images. These are not selfies or images that you've taken on your phone. The ones that are printed on a comp card are going to be taken professionally. So you can look up online. I would do the same thing on Instagram, do the hashtag. You can even do hashtag modeling digitals, things like that. And photographers most likely will come up around you. And you want to make sure that when you are going through these photographers that they are legit, okay? They should be having all of their images on their social medias. They should have a website. If they're like a really good photographer, most of the time they will have a website with their rates and things like that. But their social medias should always have their images, and you need to make sure that you're looking into these comment sections. There should be people dropping like fire emojis and like supporting this photographer, especially if they're a photographer that has like kind of been in the game. They know what they're doing. Now, if it's a photographer that's just starting and you know they're building their portfolio, fine, you can maybe let it slide, but you need to make sure you have discernment with these photographers, because there are weirdos out here and you do not want to get into a situation where you are uncomfortable, because that happens, and it happens quite a lot. When you work with these photographers, you can even ask them as well if they are able to take digitals of you, and then maybe you guys can find a studio space where they have nice clean white walls and things like that, where you can do your clean, just raw digital images that you can use on a comp card. I'm pretty sure there's people that offer the service where they print the comp cards for you, but I am a do-it-yourself type of person. You can look it up on YouTube, how to create a comp card. As a model, you're going to want to do for self. You don't want to wait on anybody else to do it for you, because we don't have time for that. Once you have those comp cards in hand, you are going to feel like such a baddie, okay? It's going to be a new level unlocked. Your comp card is literally like having your ID in the modeling world. Like, I'm telling you, you see those images and you're like, okay, like I got this unlocked. Two types of models in the industry, and I'm talking about legitimate models. No shade, no tea, but legit models. We have the freelance models, and then we have the signed, exclusive signed to agency models, right? I feel like modeling, because of the type of journey it is, because it is a journey, I always say to explore both routes, because you're going to gain things from both. I was a signed model exclusively to an agency. It was really, really fun. I got to work with some amazing brands. I've met some beautiful people, beautiful creatives. I don't know if I would have reached that point if I wasn't signed first. Now, I am currently in the space of freelance modeling. So I do social media modeling. I'm a UGC creator, and this is just another side of modeling that I didn't even know like existed in a way, and it's also serving me in a way that I couldn't have imagined like in my wildest dreams. I am so happy that I've been able to experience both, and the way that I did. If you want to experience both things, one or the other is going to come first, and it doesn't really matter which one you choose, because eventually you will get to the other side of it. So if you are looking to become a freelance model, especially when it comes to like social media and things like that, you are going to want to have that social media on lock. You're going to want to have it on lock for being signed as well, but it's more important when you are a freelance model, because your social media is going to serve as your portfolio. So all of the images that you have been creating for yourself and the photographers that you've been working with, things like that, these images that you have, you're going to want to curate them on your social media pages. So if you have an Instagram, preferably Instagram, you are going to want to be consistent on your Instagram and make sure that you have those images of you up, and make sure those images are up to date. They are in current. Anytime that you connect with anybody, an artist or a brand, the first thing they're going to look at is your Instagram page. So you want to have good, clean, professional, high quality images. So when they look at your page, they know what type of work that you can create. Instagram is such a powerful tool for models. Just step into that creative box for yourself, because this is what is going to get you booked and keep you booked. So in freelance modeling, you're going to be wearing many hats, because you are essentially you are your own boss when it comes to freelance modeling. So this is why I like freelancing so much, because it allows me the space to create how I want to create and work with who I want to work with. But you will have to be your own manager, right? So you're gonna have to be a little bit strict on yourself, and you're going to have to be consistent. You need discipline. So if you want to be booked, you're going to have to start booking yourself. And in order to be booked, you need to have reference for these clients to look at. You're building your own portfolio. If there are certain brands that are on your vision board that you dream of working with, start mimicking those images. So let's say you want to work with MAC Cosmetics, right? You're going to go onto their Instagram page, you're going to go onto their website, and you're going to study those pictures, and you are going to replicate those pictures. Search for photographers that can curate similar images like that. Message these photographers, send them these images, and let them know, hey, I want to recreate something like this. Can you do that? Work with that photographer, make those images, add it to your portfolio, post it to your Instagram. You're going to keep doing that. You're going to keep doing that. You're going to be in this phase of your career for a little bit, because this is you curating yourself, and it's going to help you in the long run. So if you want to become a signed model, exclusively signed to an agency, what you are going to want to do is you're still going to want to build your portfolio, because I think that you will have an advantage over other models when you already have something built for yourself. Walking into an agency with nothing in hand, you're putting yourself in a vulnerable space, right? You don't want to do that. You want to look like you know what you're doing, because there's nothing an agency loves more than a model who knows what she's doing. And I can attest to that, because like I said previously, I invested into my own camera, and I took my own images with my high quality digital camera, and those images got me signed. You're gonna want to do the same thing as the freelance model and curate your Instagram as if it is your portfolio. This is just in the new age of modeling now, because modeling is no longer only paperback, it is now digital as well. It's honestly more digital than it is paperback. I want to make sure that you don't have any low quality images on your social media, because your Instagram is for professional use. If you have an Instagram page that is for friends, family, things like that, and you want to keep it separate and create another page solely for your modeling. Agencies, the first thing that they're going to ask you, they're going to ask you for your name, where you're from, height, all that maybe, but they're going to ask you for your Instagram. When they ask you for your Instagram, they're obviously going to look at your Instagram. They're going to look and see what type of images you have. They're going to look and see if you've worked in freelance. They're going to want to see if you've worked with brands. This is why I kind of like freelance as well, because agencies naturally, when they see a model that has a digital footprint and has worked with brands online, they look at that and they see, okay, this model has some type of competence when it comes to the industry, and we want that. We want that to be represented in our company, because this is business. Modeling is a business, and agencies, that is a business relationship. So you want to treat it as so. You're going to be going to quite a few agencies. You're going to get a lot of no's before you get that one yes. The very first agency that I went to was Wilhelmina in Miami, and obviously they told me no, and I was crushed. Y'all, I was so crushed because I genuinely thought that I was like the perfect model. I didn't understand how they didn't want me. The way that they told me no, it was just straight up like, no, like you just need to build your portfolio. Actually, I don't even think they gave me that. I think they just told me, no, sorry, have a good day. And it broke my little model heart because I just wasn't prepared for a no, and I wasn't prepared for a no like that. So just keep in mind that you will hear no, and it's okay. It's not you, it's them. Be wary of scam agencies. This is another major thing in the industry that aspiring models have dealt with, is just like scammy agencies. You can tell when an agency is a scam if they are asking you for money up front. To be honest, they shouldn't be asking you for money at all, but if they are asking you for money up front, they're more than likely a scam. And the reason I say that is because when you are a model and you are exclusively signed to an agency is going to get a certain percentage out of your work. Anytime you get booked, that agency is going to have most likely 20%. They're going to be taking that percentage out from your check, and that's out of every check. So an agency asking you for money up front before you are even signed to them, it is a red flag. So be wary of that. If they're telling you that, then it's a no. If you ever feel like an agency is a scam, look them up online. Look for their Instagrams, look for their Facebooks, and look into the comment sections, because most of the time people are going to leave reviews, people are going to leave comments, and if the agency doesn't have any reviews or comments, that's a red flag in and of itself, and you probably don't want to be signed to them anyway. You can also tell when an agency is a scam or not by their testimonies. So if you go on to, let's say, Next Model Management, right? They're a pretty known agency. When you go onto their Instagram platform, you will see clearly that they have testimonies. They have models that are posted in magazines, on websites for brands, things like that. If you go onto an agency's page and you don't see any testimonies like that, then that is also another red flag to look for. So another thing that I want to touch on about the modeling industry and becoming a successful model, you want to get realistic about the type of model that you are. So when I first started out, I was convinced that I was a high fashion model, and that's just what it was. I was going to be walking the runway for Chanel, Gucci, things like that. And I quickly found out that that is just not who I am. I am more of a commercial model. I do sometimes feel like I could be a high fashion model. I could definitely see myself in Vogue. Okay, but that's just the little girl in me. That is just a dream of mine. But I am more of a commercial model, and more than likely you are too. And this is not a bad thing. It's just reality. And commercial modeling, believe it or not, is more moolah. I want the moolah with my dream. Just because modeling is your dream doesn't mean that you need to be broke in that dream. And commercial modeling is where the money is at. Whenever you are in the mall and you see these models on these billboards and you're like, oh, like, I want to do that, I'm looking at it like, oh, she got a check from that, right? So if you are more of a commercial model, congratulations, you're about to get this bag. If you are a up-and-coming model, I wish you the best. You are going to get exactly what you want if you keep your foot on the pedal, okay? Keep doing what you need to do and you will get there. Put in that work and you will get signed. Put in that work and you will get booked. You are a valuable model, and I cannot wait for your journey to begin or continue. And I am sending you all of the booked and busy energy because you deserve it. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe.